Growing up in Landover, Maryland in the 70s and then moving to Oxon Hill, Maryland in the early 80s, racism was not an issue for me. I never truly understood racism until I went to college in '91 in Kaiser, West Virginia. I learned about what racism was about firsthand. I had driven through town with my football teammates numerous times for various reasons. My teammates and I decided to attend an off-campus party. Since there were too many of us to drive, we decided to walk through town to get to the party. We were all African American. On our way back to campus, while on the sidewalk, we were approached by a pickup truck full of white men. In the bed of the truck, armed with shotguns, AR rifles, and baseball bats. That's the intro for Mr. Victor Poole. Once in the surgery room, Dr. K came in and said, "Let's rock." He turned on his music, and I was told to count backward from 100. I remember saying 100, 99, and that's it. I could feel my chest getting tighter and tighter. It was so hard to breathe. There was this bright light in my face, and it kept getting brighter and brighter. I looked over and saw my dad and said, "Please don't let me die." That was on March 20th, 2002. I woke up and was focusing on the calendar in front of me. It said April 1st, 2002. I thought it must have been wrong because my surgery was on March 20th. So why is it saying April 1st? I had so many questions. Looking at my daddy's face, he looked so defeated because this was something he couldn't fix. That's the story of Miss Tracy White Pierce. Yes. I have been blessed with this life of mine. I didn't grow up well off, nor did I have both parents in the house. A single mom raised me, and she did an absolutely great job. I was not a problem child. I was a mama's boy, no doubt. I was a spoiled child, but not a spoiled brat. My father and grandparents were very much in my life. I had a great childhood. I had a great group of core friends, and we all grew up together and experienced a lot of things together. My high school years were great. I had a lot of fun and did pretty okay in high school. I think the best thing my mother could have done was to send me away to school and got me away from the city. I know it was tough for her, being that I was her only child and leaving her alone in Washington, D.C. That's Christopher Claiborne. Okay, so the beginning of this one is titled The Barbecue Book. I like when they make it interesting, right? Like, you don't read that, right? The Barbecue Book, 20 years and 12 days is quite a long time. I have been asked the question, have you been married? The answer is yes. I got married on February 14th, 1998. However, my marriage fell during year number 2. I will spare you the full details for the sake of writing space. The short version of the story goes something like this. We met in July of 1993. He met her in 1996. We were married in 1996. We were married in 98. He traveled to Hawaii to visit her in 2000. You can do the math. But before he returned from Hawaii, I had a new apartment and burned the wedding album on the grill located on our balcony. Then you see how the title of the story came about. Miss Coleman over there. So, here's another one. Back in the day, and she titled this, Let's Stay Together. She did, actually it looked like she did songs to talk about different segments of her life, okay? One of my earliest memories is when I was 6 years old. I remember the security I felt living with my parents in our family home in Fort Washington, Maryland. For the most part, life was pretty simple until it was not. One day, my mom came home late late in the evening, and instead of entering our house like usual, she stood outside on the porch talking with my father through the screen door. I remember thinking how odd this was, and although I couldn't explain my feelings, I knew something was wrong. My suspicions were confirmed when I looked up at my father and I saw him silently crying as he urged me to go with my mother. In that moment, I sadly remember feeling something akin to hatred for my mother. In my innocence, I believed she was why my father was crying. Miss Tracy West. A letter to my mother in heaven. I was not ready for you to die that Labor Day weekend, as the doctors anticipated. Those 2 additional months we had with you were great and memorable. We laughed together, we cried together, we celebrated your 77th birthday with your favorite Pizza Hut pizza and Krispy Kreme donuts. Those 2 months gave us more time to be together. I will forever be grateful. If I'm honest with myself, Mommy, I struggled when you died. You always taught me to be a strong woman and to push through my obstacles in your death. I was strong for TJ and the priest, despite my pain and sorrow, because they needed me to be. I was even strong for Daddy. Miss Perrette Arrington.